Welcome to the We Are One channel. Today is something a little different and very unique. We're going to give you a sneak preview for Open Your Reality. Chad just interviewed an amazing guest with an amazing story, a whistleblower for MK Ultra and the secret space program. I wanted to ask Chad a few questions and he's going to provide us with a little clip to whet your whistle-blowing appetite. Here it is. Enjoy.
Check one, check two.
There's a lot of highlights in the interviews. He's talking about MK Ultra.
To me, I think that's a real program, but essentially I was taken out of class and I was asked questions about if I'd be willing to help the military by reading minds and stuff like that to prevent crimes before they happen. The strange questions at school, the talented and gifted program, and the UFOs and everything else is all connected. For the past few years, I've been getting like really intense recall, and I've been getting memories back of my time at Project Phoenix, which is most people know as the Montauk Project, as well as other various different Black Ops projects on Earth and both off planet.
Yeah, you can see right there that he says a lot. And I mean, we talked about so many things. I asked him about flat Earth, Mandela effects, time travel, time cops, cloning technology, music industry. We went through everything. And this guy, it's one of the best interviews.
Chad just finished interviewing Arkim Ra on his channel. He'll be posting that probably tomorrow or later tonight, very soon. When I asked who this was, I had no idea who this was. When I asked who this was, Chad's text back to me said he's an MK Ultra whistleblower and time traveler. So I was like, wow, that's amazing. He said went for almost 2 hours, the interview, probably about an hour and a half on Patreon. So subscribe to that if you have not already. He said it's one of the best interviews he's ever done. And it was very much like the Tony Rodriguez interview and experience. So I was floored. I said, hey, let's jump on the channel. Let's record this while it's fresh in your mind. Because I have some questions and I want to preview this for your audience, Open Your Reality. So Chad, I would say welcome, but we've been talking for a few minutes. So what else can you add to that? That sounds
Thank
amazing.
you. Do you see me on camera actually?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, great. I didn't really know who Arkim Ra was, and a viewer of mine, many of the viewers recommend guests, so I checked him out. I like what he had to say. I saw him on the Penny Bradley show. So I listened to maybe 20, 30 minutes of it. Really liked what he had to say and figured, let me contact him. He responded back, said he would come on, but we had some cancellations. We couldn't really get our ducks in a row in terms of a date. We finally did it today.
Nice.
And so the interview, I told him initially that I wanted to do about an hour, but I found him so fascinating. I was absolutely glued to my monitor. I couldn't go away. But then after about 2 hours, I felt bad. So I ended the interview, but not after we talked about everything. Literally MK Ultra, which is also known as Phoenix Project, which he was a part of.
Montauk Project?
The Montauk Project. He knows about Tony Rodriguez. He knows about Andrew Basiago. And actually, he has a YouTube channel.
Cool.
And I didn't know he had. I know he had a YouTube channel because I checked out some of his videos, which was all music videos, by the way. So when he mentioned his YouTube channel in the interview, it's a different channel. So I need to check that out. But I believe he just started it. And he said he interviewed Andrew Basiago, who was also a time traveler. He was in Project Pegasus back in the late 60s and early 70s with none other than Barack Obama.
Wow.
Yeah, Obama was one of those time travelers, he claims. And he went to the moon. He went to Mars. He used like the jump room technology. And he was also sent back in time. I'm talking about Andrew Basiago now. Was sent back in time to the time of the Gettysburg Address. And he has a picture of it, which is, you can find that online. If you put Andrew Basiago Gettysburg Address, it should come up. I put it on my channel too. So Arkim interviewed him. I knew who he was. We went through so many different topics in this interview. I asked him about the music industry, talked about selling your soul. Mandela effect. I asked him what he thought the flat earth was, because Arkim claims to have not only gone to these underground bases, these black black op places, but also off-world. It's a Centurion and other places. And, you know, what he says about the flat earth may surprise people. He also talked about timeline shifts. He talked about time travel. He talked about the Mandela effects. And really, we went everywhere. There was cloning technology. It was nothing that I didn't really ask him in this interview. I have no regrets. I asked him just about everything I wanted to. And he revealed a lot of information. Now, mind you, he's not technically an insider. He's just someone that was caught up in the program ever since he was a boy. And it's unfortunate. People might look at him as having favorable knowledge, but really he's living a very, very chaotic, hellish type of life, because he said that his consciousness has been extracted and he's been sent off planet to work as basically an indentured servant for 20 years at a time, very much like our man Tony Rodriguez. And that this can happen to him almost any time, that he's barely functional in society. He's trying to get on Social Security. And he just started going public with this about a year or two ago. He has no monetary gain that he gets from this. He really has nothing to gain other than what he said at the very beginning and end of the interview, which is just trying to liberate those people who are also in the same position, who says it could be hundreds of thousands, or if not millions, of people in the same boat as him.
That's very interesting. What really interests me is the differentiation between MK Ultra and the secret space program, and what mind control abilities these programs have. I mean, they can make you think that you've actually done this. Like I'm very interested in hearing their perspective, because obviously they've experienced it. I'm saying the experience is real, but how do we know that it was physically real?
Well, he says, I know you have to trust me on this, or you have to listen to what I'm saying and make up your own mind. He says, don't believe me. Look at the others. He goes, why are we all coming out and saying the same thing? So I said, no, I said to him in the interview, obviously something to it. I mean, you guys are saying the same thing. And I said, look, it's not like I don't believe you, because I think, just like Tom Campbell says, we're all getting information from this virtual reality trainer that we call the LCS. And all information is basically real, because it's all happening. So what's happening to him, that may not be our experience, but that doesn't mean it's not happening to him. Now, when you said, Ken, he has experiences that you said the MK Ultra could make him think he's had experiences. That could be true. But at the same time, I do think, like Donald Marshall said, that they could be extracting their consciousness and making them have these experiences. Not saying like a dream, but
yeah,
having a real experience. And he said that sometimes it's almost like as if he's in a dream, sort of, kind of like in a haze. I said to him, how do you do these 20-year, indentured servant jobs and still keep your sanity? So he said, it's kind of like
is it possible that they can, like, because for me, it sounds like, and I don't want to sound insensitive, because I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just outside perspective looking in of potential. If they can control your memories and they can make it seem like a dream, if they can slow the dream down, they can make it seem like it's a very, very long time, right? Or they can compress it, because the experience of a dream is real. The experience is real, right? If you have a long dream and it seems like, you've gone step by step by step by step, and you wake up and you're like, man, I can probably talk for 2 or 3 minutes of what exactly just happened. If they slow that down, they can make that seem like it was a year, right?
I mean, I've asked him, do you have full memories of these 20-year sojourns as an indentured servant? He says, no, not at all. He says it's all emotional memory. It's the most traumatic events that have happened. But he says there's certain circumstances where he does remember people or circumstances, but for the most part, he remembers only those things, only those times that were the most emotional.
So here's another thought that I have, because early on in this awakening journey that I had, I was watching a lot of DMT, ayahuasca, hallucinations, and I had never done those. I still haven't done them. But my question is, it seems like a level of consciousness is being sucked out of them, almost like they were given LSD, right? Almost like that somehow, and they're hallucinating, but they're getting funneled into this reality that, I mean, let's talk about the moon again, because we just had the conversation on your channel, live stream, about the moon, right? So if he worked on the moon, did he work on the moon's surface? Why do you think it was the moon? Did he recognize craters? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, there's a lot of questions that go involved in that.
There is. And I had a question for him in the interview, which some people might ask, but I said, if these black ops have so much advanced technology where they can extract your consciousness, where they have bases off planet, on moons, on different worlds, why would they extract your consciousness to be an indentured servant? Because most of these jobs are very inglorious. They're just janitors, they're cleaners. That's really all they are. They're not, yes, they can be super soldiers like Tony Rodriguez, but if you read the book, you'd see that there were times where Tony Rodriguez was doing a lot of very rote work, like he was working in cargo. And I said to him, why would they need to do that? Why would they ruin your life and take your consciousness? And he says, believe me, he says, because a robot can't clean the toilets, or a robot can't make the food. And so they need human beings. And that's what they're using us for, as slaves. So I don't know. That's up in the air for debate. You would think they would put one of those, what do you call those round discs on the floor that clean up?
The disco, yeah. Oh, the Roombas.
Yeah, the Romas and
Roomba.
As far as the rover, and as far as the food is concerned, I can understand it, but it does seem far-fetched and unbelievable to me. But then again, I'm saying to myself, what does he have to gain from it?
Well, nothing yet. I mean, and I'm not saying there's nefarious. If you watch my channel, you talk to me, I'm not a conspiracy guy as far as, the world is evil and this is what's going on. I'm looking at it with my eyes open, trying to decipher what I think is what is the truth. Nothing yet. The same way that, my friend asked me before the thing that happened 4 years ago was, he said, what are they going to gain from this? There's no money to be made. I'm like, hold my beer, right? Hold my coffee. Give me a second. Let's take a little time and see. So I'm not saying he's going to gain from it, but the interview sounds fascinating. I'm definitely interested in watching it. Give us one more nugget of something that happened, or one question that was going off before we end the preview.
Yeah, no, I mean, do you want me to play any of it?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, Ken, let me play you like a 1 or 2 minute preview here from the interview where Arkeem is talking about the music industry, because he's a musician, and being that he was in MK Ultra and he's a musician, he understands these things. Why people sell their soul. Here, I'll play the clip.
The music is the most powerful force, the most powerful form of magic that's used out in the open. So it changes its environment. It's a very powerful form of magic. And yeah, there's a deep connection there between the music industry and these programs. A lot of these guys that sell their souls for the music, in the music industry, for fame, they literally sign a contract with like a company that deals with consciousness in the clone black market, so they can be used over and over again. That's what that is. We did that at Montauk. You would literally go in there with a suitcase with a little like iPad thing and speakers and play a song, and like this is a hit song, we'll give it to you if you sign the papers. And he would say, depending on the time period, but he usually say it was the devil, and you're selling your soul to the devil. And it's real. They are selling their souls. And they're selling their souls to these corporations that run these programs. That's what they're doing.
Yeah. So I found the whole interview to be fascinating. And I only originally told you wanted to do an hour. I thought an hour would be good, but we went almost 2 hours because he had so many things to share. Yeah, it's like a Tony Rodriguez interview on steroids.